Hello, my name is Nyamebofour Otoo, as you've already heard. I am a mental health activist. I am also a poet, a dreamer, and a person with schizophrenia. I have dealt with this disease for the bulk of my life and have thus gained an intimate understanding. I hope by the end of this talk, you would have also gained some understanding. I guess the first question you would naturally ask is, what is schizophrenia? To answer this question, I am going to use a definition provided by the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. This is a manual used to guide the diagnosis of mental disorders. According to the manual, schizophrenia is characterized by one or more abnormalities in one or more of the following domains, namely delusions, hallucinations, disorganized thinking or speech, grossly abnormal motor behavior, and negative symptoms. These negative symptoms include diminished emotional expression and a decrease in motivation. According to the World Health Organization, every 1 in 300 people suffer from schizophrenia. Childhood onset schizophrenia, on the other hand, is experienced by every 1 in 10,000 people. This was published in a paper written by Alison Leslie and Michael O'Sullivan. I have childhood onset schizophrenia. I got my first symptoms of psychosis before my 13th birthday. As you can see, schizophrenia is quite a rare disease. This makes the act of advocacy that much harder and more important. When I was planning this talk, I was bent on using a slideshow to illustrate my experience. I needed to convey exactly what I had been through. But I slowly learned that there is nothing like perfect communication. And so, today, I am leaning into the power of imperfect stories. I am leaning into the complexity inherent in human communication. Today, the only thing you will see is me, the speaker. The only sound you will hear is my voice. Here, in this moment, I am the paragon of rationality and the arbiter of truth. This is my story. I was 9 when I realized my brain worked differently. I had my first breakdown in bed with my mother hovering over me, visibly confused. I was 12 when I realized I had become a social pariah. Puberty had hit my friends and I like a truck. Social relationships became more complicated. Communication had evolved from direct speech to looks and glances. I was ostracized, and in return, I isolated myself. I was 13 when I got my official diagnosis. By that time, I had entered into a new reality. I was in a place where I felt like my thoughts were being read like a fictional novel by outsiders. I was in a place where I felt like I was a religious icon. I was in a place where I felt like, where I had my own radio replaying in my head over and over and over again. The presenters were 4 of my JHS classmates. My anxiety was crippling. I could barely stomach food. I woke up to loud voices berating me every single day for simply existing. I felt like I was constantly being persecuted by outsiders. I had lost control of my body, my thoughts, and my mind. To create some semblance of control, I created daydreams. And this led me to outwardly talk to myself, much to the dismay of everybody I had ever come into contact with. The other side of my story, which is more palatable, is my academic brilliance. I was completely out of touch with reality, but I was topping every high school class I had ever been in. By the end of my second year, right before a major exam, my psychosis went into remission. This, in layman's terms, means I had come back to our shared reality. I was finally healed, or so I thought. I managed to push through the rest of my high school career. I wrote my A-levels, I got 2 A's and an A star. I got into a good women's college in Massachusetts, which is called Wellesley College. I had a very good scholarship package. And by all means, I was a success story. For most people, this would be where their talk ends. They would say a life lesson and call it a day. But for me, this is where true healing began. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, I was forced to go to college remotely. This was a blessing in disguise. I had to face all of the things I had been running away from. All of the pent-up emotions from all of the bullying and trauma I had endured in both professional and personal capacities came at me at full speed. The healing process was not pretty. I cried, I journaled, and I did a lot of self-introspection. I ranted and raved openly and frequently, both online and on social media. But soon, I realized that I had been imprisoned by schizophrenia, societal expectations, and people's opinions of me for the majority of my life. And at that point, I was tired of being a prisoner. So I set myself free. I had to accept the part of myself that nobody would accept. I had to accept the part of myself that people deemed unstable, that felt everything fully, that were judged constantly, and that were bullied. I had to see the beauty in the madness. I had to accept that I think and act differently because my brain is as complex as it is brilliant. I had to accept the awkward pauses and the awkward stares because to be human was to be alive, and to be alive was to be uncomfortable. Now, I walk into every room with my head held up high. I consciously take up space even when I know I will be judged. I show up as myself even when I have a symptom flare up, and even when I know I will get awkward looks for being neurodivergent. All this to say, transformative growth is possible. My story is a testament to hope and perseverance. You can cry, you can shout, you can complain, you can feel dejected. You can stew in the past as long as you want to. You can choose to forgive or not to forgive. But what you must never do is give up on yourself. Even when you question your entire existence, even when the outside world doesn't understand you and is unkind to you, even when you fail, we must give ourselves the opportunity to grow and heal. We must give ourselves the opportunity to bloom. This is how we truly live our lives. This is how we gain freedom. This talk is a step on my path to taking back my freedom. I hope this talk inspires you to own your story and be a little kinder to people who act and think differently. Thank you.